don't have Jerry anymore, so somebody else is going to have to step up here. Ready, Stephen? I'm far from the oldest one. So
what were your goals this offseason when you started recruiting the transfer portal?
Well, the goals were to try to improve in areas where I felt like we weren't as good last year, which we wanted to become bigger, more physical, more of an emphasis on being better defensively, rebounding, those areas. And I thought we did a good job in the portal of getting that.
Deshaun was the first guy you pulled out of there. He started a ton of games, has started a ton of games in his career, but he was under 20 minutes a game last year. Do you expect him to maybe scale that up this year?
We'll see. I mean, it depends on the type of condition that he gets in. He's a talented guy, and he can do a lot on both sides of the ball, but a big part of the minutes will be determined by the type of shape that he's in.
How does you bring back Cam, one of the few guys that came back, who played center all last year? How do those two guys fit together? Do they rotate? Do they play next to each other?
Well, that's something they can play together. They'll rotate. They'll be in without each other at different times. Excuse me, throughout the summer or this month or the month of late June and July, we've been together for about a month. We've looked at them together. We've looked at them against each other, subbing for each other. I think they complement each other well, and we look forward to them, to seeing how it all fits together.
How easy is it for those guys, the returning guys, to mesh and want to mesh with guys coming in?
Yeah, it's been pretty easy. I think because everyone on our team wants to be good. The returning guys want to be better than we were last season, especially in January, February, and the 1 or 2 weeks that we played in March. So that part's been seamless as far as the attitudes with it now, getting guys used to each other, getting the new guys used to, each other, and the returning guys used to the new guys, and all of that stuff. And that's why, I'm grateful that we have the opportunity in the summer now to work with guys and to work with our team and to take advantage of those times.
These games you've added in the last week or so with Villanova and Penn State, is that a direct reaction to the ACC changing their schedule and giving maybe some more opportunities in the non-conference?
Yes, that is part of it. With 2 less conference games, it gave us more of an opportunity to schedule like that. And so that was really it. Obviously, it's an old Big East rival with Villanova, and then Penn State and in-state rivalry. 2 games that we felt like that fans would really appreciate and maybe want to travel to see, and next year having Villanova back here, would be something that people want to be a part of.
That exhibition with Providence, I don't know if you guys have done an exhibition against a power conference team like that. What's the value, I guess, of doing that publicly versus?
Well, this is the first year I think that you can do it publicly without it going to a cause. In the past, you could do it. It would be for like hurricane relief or different things like that. And so this is the first year that you can just do an exhibition against another Power 5 without it being a quote-unquote secret scrimmage. It's an opportunity for fans to see it. It's another old Big East team. We wanted to play it in the field house. Thought it would be pretty cool. That's, if I'm not mistaken, I think Providence was who Jerome Lane broke the backboard against. And so, for us, it gives us a chance against a Power 5 team to see how our guys react against that, to see how they react with people in the stands in a real live game atmosphere. So we're excited about it.
Barry, I think he didn't start last season shooting very well from 3, but really turned it on in conference play. I guess, where do you kind of see his true neutral in front of
Yeah, I mean, we hope it's more like the latter. You know, if you look at his last 10 game stats at South Alabama, I mean, they were really, really impressive. And I thought it was because he became more comfortable playing. He really went 3 years where he didn't play a lot of minutes. And when you haven't played a lot, sometimes it could take you a minute in live action to the speed and the rhythm of a game. And so I thought we're hopeful that it's closer to the latter. It's probably going to be somewhere in the middle. But he's an unbelievable kid. He's worked his butt off since he's been here. He's really, really excited to be here, and he has some talent.
Coach, you got some good contributions from freshmen the past couple of years. Among your 5-man class, have any of the newcomers sort of stand out so far?
They've all had moments. I mean, they're great kids. They work really hard. I think all 5 of them, have big upside. Kieran, we're most likely going to redshirt. That was something we talked to him about when we recruited him, and something that he and his family talked about. So that's been the plan. Been really, really impressed with him, with how he works and some of the skill that he has. Henry just got here. As you guys have probably read, it can be difficult getting in this country now if you're not a citizen. So he just got here last Friday, I think, or it was the middle of the week it was sometime last week. So I haven't seen him much, so I can't comment on him like that. But, all of them, Amari's really talented. He's got great size, very versatile on both sides of the ball. Makari has been a pleasant surprise as far as the physicality already that he has, that he can play with. And so we're excited about all of them and excited to see what they can do and how much better they'll get.
Do you feel like you took more, you would call them like developmental guys, like you mentioned, Kieran will probably redshirt, maybe Henry as well. I don't know, was it changed in the roster limits? Do you feel like you took more of those guys and kind of developed?
Well, kind of our plan was with understanding the new rules and the roster, limit and the 15 and taking away, not taken away, but you're gone from 13 scholarship guys. The way we looked at it is kind of organizing or structuring our team like a pro team. And you have the back end guys that are more of your developmental, like in the NBA, they have 2 ways where they're back and forth. And so we did kind of structure it that way. Now, who those guys are, we don't exactly know who they all are right now. Look, I'm not going to play. 13 guys aren't going to play. I understand that. Right now, I think we are at 13 scholarship guys. I think that's where we are right now as we sit right now. We can add. I don't know if we will, but we could. But we'll figure out what the rotation is and go from there. But we did take some guys that we looked at as long-term guys that could potentially redshirt, but have high upside.
Said about possibly adding, there's been some talk in the last week or two, Dame Dunn getting another year. Is that a possibility? Is that still on the table?
It's a possibility. It's something that, he's pursuing. We're supporting it. He didn't have a healthy season last year. The reality is that he probably shouldn't have come back after he had the first injury, but he really wanted to play for us, really wanted to help our team, and he rushed back. He was never healthy, and we think the second injury occurred because of the first injury. You go back and you look at the tape against Carolina when he got hurt. The second time when he's going to fall, he won't put his right arm down because of the thumb, and he falls on his elbow and fractures his elbow. He didn't go into the portal. He pulled his name out of the draft. Like, he wants to be here. We want him here. We feel like he has a very compelling case. And so now it's in the hands of the NCAA, and hopefully we get some good news. He would be an unbelievable addition. When he was healthy, we were really good. We were a top 25 team when he was healthy last year. Unbelievable kid. One of the coolest things for me last season, especially before he got hurt, And when he was playing really well was to see him after home games here, to see his son, for him to have a chance to, have his son see him play and play well and be a really good player. And he's done everything. I mean, he got back up here. He's been working out with the coaches. And so, yeah, we're hopeful. We'll see.
Talked to you after Alan Green got introduced as AD. You said the one thing that you need is you need an eye on money. Do you feel like you've gotten the support from the university and from the athletics department that you need to build your roster the way you want to?
We have. We've gotten it. I really like our roster. I like what we were able to do from March until June, July. The thing with rowing was announced in July, but it's been done for a while. And so we're grateful to the university, to the athletic department, to Allen, to development, to the donors, to everyone that contributed to help us put together this roster.
What does Roman bring? What do you expect out of him as a freshman, knowing he just got here?
Yeah, well, he's not here yet. He's, we got to get the visa. So we're hopeful to have him here, sometime by the end of the first week of August. But we know there's a physicality that's there. We know there's a guy that plays really, really hard, has upside, versatility. We think that he will help us rebounding and just give us, a different type of guy, wherever you put him, whether it's on the wing, whether it's inside. He can play inside and out. He's big and strong and athletic, and, he's got a little nastiness to him, which is really good. So we're excited about what he can bring. We're excited to work with him and to help him continue to get better. But he's someone that we were in pursuit with for a really long time, and developed a great relationship with him, and excited to have him in our program.
When you said it was done and you had to wait a little bit, was that just the visa stuff, or were there other kind of stuff?
There was just some other stuff, but he had committed to us for a while, but there was just other stuff.
You think about some of the ways that, some of the characteristics that it seems like this team will have: physicality, defense, rebounding, some of these things. Is this a team that you've wanted to build, this type of team you've wanted to build for a few years? Is this something of a more recent pivot, like a reaction to last season, to try and build this kind of team?
Well, I didn't like the way we were in January, February, towards the end of the season last year. I didn't like how we were. I didn't think there was the necessary physicality there to be, the team that we want to be. I didn't like the way we rebounded. I didn't like the way we defended. And I just felt like we needed to become more physical. That was a big thing. I thought we got pushed around a lot. It's weird. Last year was a weird season because we didn't get pushed around, and I thought we were pretty good in November and December. Whether it's we ran out of gas, whether it's I didn't play enough guys, whatever it is, we have to change. And so, recruiting guys that are a little bit more, we feel like, their bodies can add weight and become more physical and be a little bit better defensively. Hopefully we rebound the basketball better. Obviously we really struggled rebounding last year. We struggled getting stops last year. So we wanted to try to improve on those areas with recruiting, but also in some of the things that we're doing, with our team, how we're working, some of the things we're doing in practice. We're constantly trying to figure out ways to get better. And that's one of the ways: physicality, defensive mindset, toughness. That's an area where we wanted to really try to hone and get back in on. Look, I think the last 3 years, I'm pleased with what we've done. I'm not pleased with how we ended last season. I don't like that. But, we won 63 games the past 3 years, and that's after, not being very good in February and late January, February last year. We won 36 conference games the last 3 years. And so, I'm pleased with that. Maybe it's 34. But, we want to get better. And so we're constantly trying to figure out ways to help our team get better and help our program get better.
Coach, as a point guard yourself, what was the thing about Oregon State transfer DeMarco Meyer that sort of attracted you the most coming out of the portal?
Toughness, leadership, defensive mindset, able to pick up full court. If you look at whether it was at SIE or Oregon State, you look at his steal rate, you look at his rebounding rate. He rebounded very well at both places on the college level, the D1 college level. And so those were the things, the toughness, the leadership, the defensive mindset. Those are the things that we looked at that attracted him to us.
Is attitude part of that toughness, and how much do you, when you're trying to bring a team in like this, where does that play into that?
The attitude is a big part of it. I mean, there has to be a level of competitiveness and competitive spirit within individual guys. And when I say that, I'm not saying we haven't had that. I'm not saying that. That's why I tried to talk about how much we've won the past 3 years and things like that. Like, I'm not, the finger should be pointed at me. Like, it all falls on me. I have to do a better job. But getting guys that are naturally competitive, getting guys with a level of physicality, getting guys that, a toughness mindset. I mean, I'm in my office yesterday and I hear the ball bouncing and I look out on the court, and it's Omari, DeMarco, and Makari. And they're doing full court zigzags against each other, defensive zigzags. And I've never had that. And so that's not something we've told them to do. No coach was in there. Like, that's them doing it. And so I'm grateful for that. And I like a lot of the stuff that I've seen this summer. We just haven't been whole this summer. That's been frustrating. We haven't had our whole team. We had a couple guys that were here, and for like 3 weeks, they couldn't practice with us. Roman hadn't been here. We think will be a big part. We've had a couple guys that are banged up. If you guys stay and watch practice, Deshaun is sick today, so he won't be here today. He woke up this morning and, has been sick. And so that's been frustrating, but they've worked their butts off, and we've seen enough in our workouts and practices where we feel really good about where we are, what we've been able to accomplish this summer. It gives us, as a coaching staff, some data to take and kind of download. Tomorrow's our last workout, and we'll get back together on the 25th. So it gives us some film, some stuff on film, stuff that we've seen that we can talk about and plan. And really, when we get back in late August and school starts, we can start putting this puzzle together, and we feel like we have the pieces to have a great puzzle.
Probably the statistically biggest thing you turned over was the 3-point shooting. Basically, we have Brandon back, right, and everybody else who made any last year is gone. Do you feel like you talked about it with Barry, how he finished the season last year. Do you feel like you're sort of going a lot of projections this year, just sort of expecting guys to take?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think that's very, very fair. And also, to be fair, we didn't shoot well in January, February, March of last year. So we weren't a great 3-point shooting team by that point either. And so, but we think Noyes is going to really help us in that area, although he didn't get a lot of time at Iowa State and his percentages are not great. But we're banking on high school, prep school when he was at Brewster, what we saw in AAU, what we saw in FIBA, and what he was able to do. And then what we've been able to see in the month, he's been here a little bit longer, so the month and a half that he's been here, what we've been able to see. We're projecting that will be a little bit more like it was when he got more consistent, when he got consistent playing time. We're hopeful that Barry can do that. Obviously Brandon can shoot the basketball. We're hopeful that, we can help DeMarco where his percentages go up. And then other guys, whether it's Roman, we feel good about him shooting the basketball. I'm not saying he's a shooter, but he's able to make a three. Deshaun, we think, can do that. And so we feel okay about where we are with that, but it is projecting a little bit.
All right, thank you guys.
All right.